Hiya everyone, that's I see you in our local Noongar language. So I live on Wajak Noongar Buja, and I'd like to acknowledge the people, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. So thank you. So I've got 5 minutes, not long, so here we go. What I will say is, I'm talking about the Safe Active Streets program, but I'm here for the next day and a half, and if you want to know about what we do in terms of our governance, how we do that in WA, the fact that we've got a stage 1 business case accepted by Infrastructure Australia, the work that we do in culture change in our schools, in our evaluation, or any of that stuff that we do quite well and we're quite proud about, just give me a shout. If I can click through my slides. Okay, what's a safe active street? We've got a really good primary network in Perth. What we don't do really well is our local roads and local street connections to those primary networks. We recognise that 80% of our cycling network is on local government land, so as a local government asset, and we're trying to work with our local governments through this Safe Active Street program to demonstrate another form of infrastructure. So what we've done is, this was a demonstration project that was established in 2015, and now 7 years later we're still looking at evaluating it. In short, we're looking at local routes with less than 1,500 vehicles per day, quiet local streets connecting to destinations in local areas, usually with connecting to a primary network alongside schools, etc. This is designed in partnership with our local governments, and it's 100% funded. We're all about our evaluation, which is what I'll talk about shortly. So how are we going and what have we done? So we've got 10 projects in our evaluation. We're evaluating the program itself. We've got 30 projects that were investigated during this time. We've got 8 on hold and 11 projects completed. In terms of our evaluation, there's 3 elements. We're looking at each of the design components of each project and comparing them against each other. Quite tricky. The other element is looking at user behaviour, so qualitative research to look at how people are interacting with it, what they feel, is it working, and then also the quantitative, so how many vehicles are using it per day, what speeds are they going, etc., etc. So what we can tell you at this point is that the Safe Active Street routes where the 85th percentiles have reduced below 37 kilometres an hour have seen an increase in active transport. Conversely, the routes where the 85th percentile have not reduced have seen no change or reductions. I think it's really important to recognise that each street is different, each context is different, and each one has been treated also in a unique way. So what we're trying to do is, when comparing and evaluating, we're trying to evaluate and understand what is that point where we get the best return on our investment to get those speed reductions, the increases in active transport, to get the outcomes, so that we can promote those and create guidelines to support them. So these are the types of treatments that we're using, whether it's single lane angled slow points. Oh, here we go. This is my 2 minutes that we get. Come back to me if you want to see more of those examples. Long story short, what we can say is when the road widths are 3.7 metres or less, with treatments that are between 80 and 100 metres apart, that's where we see that change in behaviour and users on the roads. So that was like the total speed version of the Safe Active Streets program. Clearly, there's a lot more detail, but I'm here to answer questions. There will be guidelines coming out related to this, and most importantly, the evaluation that's associated with this project will be out at the end of next year. So there's a lot of work behind the scenes. I'd like to recognise Dr. Zarine Salter. She's done some promotion of the evaluation of this through AITPM and other sources, as well as all the designers in local governments, my predecessor Craig Woodridge, who started this, We Ride Cycling Foundation a few years ago, who also kicked this off back in 2015. So there we go. Thank you.